Hi, Dave Reed here, D Reed Electric Guy. I'm going to take a moment to, we have a lighting repair that we're going to do in this home today. And we got a light out in the middle of the hallway, but we're going to just change all three trim lights out. It's a LED 6-inch recessed trim. One of the things I like to do whenever I'm doing a repair like this is make sure that the power's off. I know there's some old timers out there that say you just do everything with the power on. Well, I'm pretty fond of my life and I like to not get electrocuted all the time. Okay, so one of the things, just a simple thing, I find the switch that it controls, turn it off, and I put some masking tape on. When I work in people's homes, this is what I do. It's just a kind of a safety thing. And it makes people aware, hey, the switch is off. There's some blue tape on it. Really simple things uh, to make life easier. And so that I have some light to work with, I'll pull out my shop light to do this here. Let's see what we got. Maybe we'll point that up like so. So if that light will cooperate, that'll do that. And then we can go ahead and do our repair here or replacement of the light. So what you want to do is you're going to try to get your fingers underneath the trim. There's these little bars here. I don't know if you could see that here, but there's these little bars, and I'll show you when I pull it down that there's these little bar clips that go up, and there's little catchers inside that recessed can light. Now these are a 6-inch recessed can light housing. There are newer lights that they're putting in the last 5 years or so. They're like a disc light that are about 1 inch thick, and they recess up into the ceiling. They don't look like this here. So um, these could be found at your local hardware store, and they run about 10, maybe $15 a piece, depending on the brand that you use. So we take our replacement. This is our brand new replacement. It does have a color select, and the other parts of the house, they're on a 4K lighting. So we're gonna set that setting at 4K. What I'm gonna do is just push it all the way down to 5 and click it back one for 4,000 Kelvin. We're gonna take this trim and then this light socket. I'll set this here on the floor, and we'll do this here. And put our screw our socket adapter in, and you can see here, we just click that in. We squeeze our little arms on this trim, and we get them. There's little clips up there, like C clips, that you snap them into. Um, some are a little harder than others to get into, depending on the brand of can light that the builder used. And then we just push that right up in there, wipe off any fingerprints that might have come along there, and then we go on to our next one. So do this next one. I don't have to. Well, I don't have to. I can because, or I will because the um, generally, if these were all three installed at the same time, then they're all three just as old. So a lot of times I get callbacks. People will they'll say, just replace the one, Dave, and then go ahead and we'll worry about the other ones later. But then I usually get a call back maybe 3 months or so later, and they say, hey, Dave, the other two went out. And then they're calling me back. They're paying another service call fee for me to come back when we could have just, bought a 4-pack like we have here. There's a 4-pack made by Commercial Electric, and again, pretty reasonable. You can go to your local hardware and get those things for right around the price point, about $10 to $15 per trim, depending on the brand you go with.
So just get it all done in one shot.
Yeah, that would be my advice too.
Instead of calling you back out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind coming back out a second time, but I mean, people like, in this economy, people like to save money and get things done. And people are generally very smart with their money, so uh, they like to get things done all in one shot.
Yeah.
So we push that selector down, we clicked it back one, and then we click it in there, put it here. Now I will tell you ahead of time, sometimes these recessed can lights, they have a little diode. They're like a heat sink diode. I don't know the exact terminology for it, but there's like a heat sink up in there. And sometimes those things go bad, and that's why the light stops working up in the trim. So generally, like I said, we'll change the light bulbs or the light trims because we have LED ones here. But then if we run into that diode, they make a replacement diode, or because those things were put in by the manufacturer for overheating. Generally, with LEDs, we don't experience overheating with these trims. Do they create a little bit of heat? Yeah, but like the heat we're talking about is so a 60-watt par bulb that would normally go into this if it was not LED could create anywhere from 3 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit of heat. So when it would get to that point, there's a little dust and dirt in that one, but when it would get to that temperature, there's a certain temperature, it would shut that bulb off. So it would cool down and then would turn the bulb back on. It's kind of like some type of heat sink diode. Again, I don't know the technical term for it, but it's a safety thing. And generally, if you're going to use, I would recommend replacing the diode. They're about $5 or $10. That could be done during this repair too. Sometimes people not recommending this. It's not, but you can cut it out and splice it together with a wire nut. But to get your full safety, in the name of safety, we would want to replace that diode in there. But generally, these LED trims also have that feature built into them, from my understanding. So if you want the second layer of protection, you could replace that diode. But I would just, you want to err on the side of safety. So do that. Hopefully all these selectors stayed on the 4K setting as I installed these, because this is our last one here. We're going to put that in. We're going to push that up in there. We're going to try not to put fingerprints on there. They look pretty good. I don't see any fingerprints. Okay, let's give the final light up. Let's see if that takes care of all three lights here. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3. And then, yeah, so that was just a bad light. Sometimes one goes out faster than the other. And I appreciate you watching the video. If you like what you're seeing, like us on Facebook, like the video on YouTube, like and subscribe, and so I can produce more videos like this and help people out, because that's really the heart, and this is why God has given me, equipped me with his gift and this talent, so that I can teach others how to do simple electrical repairs in their everyday life. So thanks for watching the D. Reed Electric Guy. God bless.